What up? What up? What up? Lit
family.
family.
What's poppin', everybody? How are you? This is our second episode, right?
I know.
Is it a second? I think
Second.
I think it's the second one.
It's very exciting.
I know. I know. I know you guys want to see more of me and not her.
I know.
I
See,
understand.
I'm the co-host, the new one that's just joined in. So everybody's gonna
Now.
be tuning in to see, my beautiful,
Back
amazing,
off. No.
dark chocolatey face.
No.
No. But today's a little bit special because we have a guest with us.
What? Yeah, the first episode it was me and Betty only. So this is our second episode, and this is our first. Okay, this is our first guest that we're gonna release.
Yeah.
But we recorded guests before her. She's been busy recording with a lot of artists, which we were gonna talk about it.
You have a very, very special.
She made me beg her for months to come
As
here.
she should. What?
Cool. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Actually, I like only 3 months. It's 2 seasons. Because the first season too, I was misheard and she didn't record with me. She said, "You're not my class."
Exactly. I had to be in for her
I
to
know.
come in.
No, she didn't.
Well,
so you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. What part? Where do I start? You want to know what I do or who I am?
Let's know what your name is, and then.
Okay, so my name is Lula Abara, and I am a nonprofit. I've been in the nonprofit world for 12 plus years, and I'm also a coach, conflict resolution mediator as well. And I do uh and I do trainings and facilitation around various topics, especially when it comes to immigration. But my work is around just wanting to bring women together, especially like women in the diaspora and Black women, being able to just kind of share my experience and my knowledge and skills. So I do different things. I'm a storyteller. I have a podcast. I work in the nonprofit sector. I have my own organization called African Women Journey, which is the goal to bring women together into one platform. So it's different things all coming together.
I know.
Miss Everything. That's what I'm gonna name her.
Miss Everything. Yeah.
No, we love to see it. Women just doing their thing, being out there in the world. Definitely.
Yeah, why not? Why not? You can you could do it all. I do believe that you could do it all, but sometimes you have to do like one thing at a time to perfect it. And then make sure all the puzzle pieces fit together.
Right to the point. Right to the point, because that was one of our topics to discuss, doing one thing at a time.
Since you started it, might as well.
Well, hold on. I want to talk. Hold on. She said herself like, I don't know. I feel like she didn't introduce herself well. Lula.
Okay. Oh. What else do you want to know?
Introduce you more. No, Lula.
Okay.
She just say I'm a coach. No, she's a life coach.
Life coach. I know. Coach means a lot. So I am a certified coach. So let me just run my credentials then. I am a certified coach, which means nowadays there are a lot of different coaches out there that they call themselves coaches. My process was I went through a program for 1 year and I earned 500 hours of coaching hours, and then I had to take a test, and then I have to be certified, and I have to retake the test every 3 years. I'm also a certified conflict and resolution mediator, so I do a lot of mediation with people who are experiencing conflict, because a lot of times when people are like arguing or having disagreement, they don't know how to resolve the issue. So I'm usually called or hired to come in, mediate the conversation. And a lot of times in those type of spaces, both parties have to agree to want to be in the mediator. So like for example, if both of you guys are arguing and like I don't know, you say you want to mediate and then the other one doesn't want to do it, I can't work with that. So you both have to agree wanting to solve the problem. And then I start my process. So it's all about communication. Some of my favorite things to do: talking, understanding how you're feeling, how the other person is feeling. A lot of times especially when you're angry, you speak out of your emotions, and the other person reacts out of the emotions. So my place is just to be the neutral party that comes in and see both sides and trying to create a space that they want to be in. So, but a lot of it, like how I got into this field is my background of being born and raised in born in Asmara and then raised in Addis. Um I was actually, it's funny. Now I'm just thinking about it as I'm answering this question. I'm currently working on a TED Talk. Do you guys know what a TED Talk is?
Yeah.
You're gonna be a TikTok?
I'm working on a TED Talk and it's going to be called Who Are You, right? So the premise of the TED Talk is going to be around just understanding yourself and beyond just like the work that you do, like your job title, you're like being a mom, a sister, a wife, like who are you if all the titles are like stripped away from you? So as I was thinking about my TED Talk, because I was writing it, it made me think about like baby Lula, like when I was born and raised in Addis and grew up in Asmara and then growing up in Addis. Well, you both know like how conflict is like such a big thing in our culture and no one wants to talk about it. So I grew up around conflict and I was very avoidance of that. So a lot of the work that I do now, it makes sense to how I grew up. It's almost like I'm finding solution to all the problems that I faced when I was little. So it's very rewarding.
Very interesting. Yeah, that really answers why you want to be a
Everything.
coach, right?
She just gave like a summary of everything we're gonna
I
ask.
know. That's that's
Yeah.
that's that's really cool because
Well, to add to that, like, so coaching is very rewarding and it's very different than therapy or counseling or mentoring because a lot of my work I find it to be rewarding because the client finds the answers to their questions. So a lot of times they're coming to me feeling stuck or feeling like they don't know what to do, not having the answer. And I honestly just ask more questions, which helps them like process and think what they want. I'll give them space to think about what they're feeling, what is really the bigger issue they're facing versus like the surface stuff they're telling me about. And then by the end of the coaching session, they usually walk away like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know that was like how I was feeling," or I know what to do moving forward. So it's really rewarding. It's like helping someone understand themselves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know.
It's a very broad place to be.
I know.
Touches a lot of things at once and then comes to a solution. So I like
When
it.
when you hear coaching Betty, what comes first to your mind?
Soccer team.
Exactly. That's exactly I was thinking, right? Because we don't know coaching like this. Some people think that I don't need somebody to lead my life. And I don't want like
To tell me how to
why
live.
is Lula telling me do this and do that? You'll be great when I can figure it out. What's the point of life if I can't figure it out on
Well,
my
well, that's the thing, right? I don't tell people what to do. I actually don't tell people what to do at all.
Yeah.
So in a coaching session, like let's say that you guys are interested in coaching, when you come to me, I'll ask you like, what do you want to talk about today? And
Yeah.
you'll say, I want to talk about I'm feeling stressed out because of my schoolwork that
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And And then I would say, "Okay, what is it about the schoolwork that you're stressed out about?" And then you tell me like, "I'm just overwhelmed because I have a lot of work to do and I find myself very stressed." And I say, "Okay, tell me more." So you tell me a little bit more about it. And my job is and then I'll ask you like, "What do you want to get out of at the end of this coaching session? Like by the time we're done within the hour, what do you want to walk away with?" You could say that I want to figure out better time management.
Hmm.
And then during the coaching session, I'm like helping you uncover why you are feeling stressed or overwhelmed with your school work. So I never tell you what to do. If I have a recommendation, I'll ask you like, "Hey, do you can I make a recommendation?" So I ask for your permission. If you say no, then I won't. But about 97% of the coaching session is just me asking you questions.
Wow. Well, yeah, because I've seen it. It's not for me. It's nothing new because that's how that I usually I call Lula and be like, oh, okay, I'm dealing with this thing now. I want. I don't even say I need your help. I just start talking and then she won't tell you what your answer is. but she will literally try to direct it at you and then try to make you figure out the answer by your own self. But she's just there to direct you towards the answer that you want
So
to hear.
like echoing yourself pretty much. She's
100%.
just reflecting back on what you're saying for you to
100%.
understand what you need to understand.
And like
Yeah.
and like psychology and other majors, we really it's one of the important things that people had to consider because usually even in our culture, Lula, you know that psychology and stuff is it's not that much of a big deal. Not
Yeah.
not a lot of people goes to shrinks and get those things. So and
Well,
adding up coaching, imagine how bringing coaching to back home and be like, okay, I'm gonna coach your life, you know.
I know. You know, that's one of my goals is to take my work to back home, especially in Addis and starting Addis in the continent of Africa. That's really where my passion is. Feel like a lot of leaders, especially, could use coaching
Yeah.
and how to talk to their employees, or like lead some of their team members, because our culture is very. It could be very harsh because we're very direct. Like you're not teaching, you're more so like yelling and telling people what to do, and that's not really leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
But in one of her works as a like what is it? The conflict. What was the word?
Resolution.
Resolution? Yeah, it's it's not exactly common in the way you might have like the way you do it here, but there's this thing like how we call it like schmuggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll come and mediate. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. But I get paid for it.
Exactly. You
and
make money out of
and
it.
and my family, Lula is known as the lawyer. So because I don't know some way they got the information that she's a lawyer. So I think you're working for the city at some point, right?
Yeah, but I told you not to tell them that I'm not a lawyer. Let them think
Yeah.
that I'm a
She
lawyer.
was like, let them think that I'm a lawyer. That's a good permission. And now she's gonna go be like, I'm a smuggling.
Who gets paid?
I know. No, okay. So
But doing those works, mediating or being a coach life, life coach. I'm messing up the words today.
No, you said it right.
So like, what affects you usually on your daily life? See, hearing all those problems and like their issues, how does it affect you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when you're working directly with people, it's very easy to take a lot of their problems with you, because it's a lot of times you're giving a space for people to talk about what they're facing. As like, I'm pretty much asking questions and talking to them. Especially in coaching, I'm asking questions and helping them uncover. In mediation and conflict resolution, like coaching, a lot of it is me like paying attention to not that just what they're saying, but also the emotions and the body language they're experiencing as well. So it could be very tiring because it requires you to be fully present with them. Like if I'm like in those type of sessions, usually like I'm very present to the point I don't even know what's going on around me, like outside. So when I am done, I usually take a lot of alone times, like a lot. I usually like come home and like do nothing for hour or two, sometimes even 3 hours, because it's just me unwinding to make sure that I'm not bringing whatever I heard in my sessions with me to my personal lives. But working out is another good way of de-stressing, like going out for a walk or going to the gym. Like it just usually makes me feel better. Sometimes I find myself really stressed. I find myself wanting to talk about what I'm feeling. So usually I will have like my husband who I can talk to, or I have like my friends without disclosing like what my clients tell me. I'll just say like, oh, when I was talking to one of my clients, I was triggered based on what they said. So I'm very mindful to make sure that like whatever I hear, it's not about me, it's about the client. And if I find it to be very heavy for me, then I have to like I have a ritual after I finish coaching where I just go do something that I personally enjoy doing for myself.
which is running, walking. Oh, and bothering Adonay to go run or walk.
Run, walk, sleep, watch TV. So pretty much anything that requires me to be alone.
Yeah, and
Alone from you, especially from you.
yeah, she used to hide.
I don't.
Yeah.
Either way, but I'm gonna get her. So either way, I'll go to her room and be like, do you want to talk?"
I
No,
know, and I'm like, leave me alone anytime. So
yeah,
Me
but
time. There's something called me time, which you
yeah,
need to understand. It's just you, yourself, and
no,
I. You know, like
no.
just.
Now I understand. No, no, now I definitely understand.
uh,
I when you say physical exercise, right? Because you exercise a lot. You know, she go for a walk. Sometimes she drive. She say it's right here, but it's far. Her gym. She comes to work tired. She go to the gym. She wakes up early in the morning to go to the gym. I'm like, why don't you just sleep and go let her? But
yeah.
out and she likes to when she work out she lift a lot of weights. She's a weightlifter. So why do you think that the physical exercise and all of that have a big effect in your mental health?
Yeah, I mean, there are studies about how workouts, like a lot of people work out like for vain reasons, like, oh, I want to look good, which is nothing wrong with that. But a lot of it is mental health, right? Like, I'm sure you guys have like gone to the gym or going for a walk and like you instantly feel better.
Yeah.
And it's because you get in the sunlight, you're like moving, you're sweating. When you're usually working out, you're not even thinking. Like next time you go do a workout, just try to remember. Like you usually don't think about nothing.
Yeah.
So that's like my escape because I'm in the moment of doing the hard work. And especially when you're lifting weight, you're just thinking about how heavy the weight is and trying to get like as many reps as you can get. So you're not even thinking about life. You're just thinking about like, let me get through this like 10 minutes of torture. So, and then usually, like if I'm going for a walk, I'm usually listening to my podcast or my music. Or sometimes, like, I'll call someone, one of my good friends, to talk to someone like that will make me feel good in a conversation just to catch up. And then so that's just like different ways of like pouring into me. And sometimes honestly I just watch TV. And when I'm watching TV, I'm not thinking about nothing either. I'm just watching crime shows, which I like.
Let's
Crime
go.
shows. Yes.
So I had a point. Oh yeah. So I just appreciate and I want to mention it this way because I've been with Lula for a little bit for some months and a lot of her friends and a lot of people just call her and just they will be talking for hours and which now that I'm not living with Lula I do it too for hours and hours. It's that you don't understand. There's no way you're gonna see your time and stuff. You're just talking and she's a very good listener. So she listens and then she listens and not only just listening, she will like I said, she will lead you to the way of like let's say you have to make a decision. She's like, okay, let's see the pros and cons. Let's do this, let's do this. She's willing to work in it. So that's why a lot of her friends and a lot of people just contact her. But speaking of friends, she doesn't like to go out. She doesn't like
What?
to go
Yeah,
out.
but before we start talking about that, you just reminded me I need to send you my invoice so you can pay me for my time, for all the times you called me.
Always brag about it.
Oh yeah. Are you kidding? She does this professionally. Of course she's gonna
Yeah,
charge.
you gotta pay me now. I have like a whole business set up. Yes, I'm not a going out person. It's very important to know your limits.
Hmm.
Especially like when you work full time, you're running business. When I choose to go out, it's with people that bring me energy. Like I make sure that those people are good company. So when I say no, it's not that I don't like to go out. I don't like to go out with certain people. So usually that's how I say no. Like if I know that you're going to sit there and complain the whole time, I'm not giving you my hour because my time is my money. And I can
She said it. Right
it
there.
is you have to be very and not just money, but time is very valuable. That something you're not going to get back. You can spend hour getting ready, 30 minutes in the car, another hour and a half sitting talking to. That's like 3 almost 4 hours that you just wasted. So I'm very intentional about who I hang out with and who I give my time to. At least at this age. I wasn't always like that. But the last couple of years, I'm becoming more conscious. But besides, I like being alone. Like, I entertain myself enough, so I don't really need to be around other people.
I do enjoy being alone too. No, that's true. But I'm an outgoing person.
Same.
I could stay at home for a while, but if I don't go out, then I think I might lose my mind at some point. I need
Yeah, my go yeah, my going out is honestly nature. Like I like to go outside. But getting dressed and like hanging out with friends, it's very few people I enjoy going out with.
that. I can agree.
Maybe I don't know, cause maybe Miss Lula likes to look like Mona Lisa when she go out, so she everything gotta be perfect.
I
She's
mean,
like,
of
I'm not
course.
working this for nobody.
If I'm outside, you're gonna know. I like to put myself together. And see, that's what I mean. Like you put so much effort to go outside.
Yeah.
So, and like it's good to have balance of everything. At this point in my life, I just know who I need to hang out with, who I want to hang out with, and then if home is so comfortable for me, home is like my peace.
There's a lot. You went through a lot in like ups and downs and roller coasters because you graduated recently. The school, because I've seen a lot the school thing and everything. So you went through a lot of roller coasters through this year. What is the lesson that should we do one or okay? What is the biggest lesson
Yeah.
you have learned?
The biggest lesson from the last you talking about the last year?
It's still last
That's
year.
like last year or two. Let's
Okay,
just
yeah.
give it like that.
Years. The last biggest lesson the last 2 years is just show up for yourself. A lot of times you do you well, I'll speak for myself. Before the last 2 years is the most I ever showed up for myself. Like I challenged myself to show up to spaces that make me uncomfortable, challenge myself to go through grad school, challenge myself to do the coaching program, challenge myself to apply for another certificate program with Cornell University, challenge myself to coach people, challenge myself to put myself out there on social media. So it just like I just challenged myself, but that was my way of showing up because a lot of times I was like hiding behind the scene and all of the work that I did prior to that. So the biggest lesson my takeaway from the last 2 years is don't doubt yourself to the point that you're not showing up for yourself.
Wow. So I'm gonna hit 2 points on that one.
But before you do that, I know you did elaborate a little bit on showing up for yourself, but like besides the doing the challenges for yourself, what other definition could you define it as showing up for yourself?
Showing up for yourself is also giving yourself grace. Like when you're facing challenging times, forgiving yourself. Showing up for yourself is resting. Showing up for yourself is speaking up when you're uncomfortable about situations. Showing up for yourself is setting up boundaries around you. So showing up doesn't mean like you're achieving like academic stuff. That's like, different. But showing up for yourself is being true to yourself and you're living your true life, your true self, and not apologizing for it. Like obviously there's a way like to talk to people, don't be rude, but you can be firm and set boundaries and no, like this doesn't work for me. So I'm not going to be talked to this way. I'm not going to be in this type of environment. You know what? I am tired this week, so I'm going to rest and I'm going to miss out on this event. That's showing up for yourself.
True, true.
Being true to yourself. I
I
like
know.
that. I
I
like that
know.
saying.
Self care. Oh my god. I learned a lot from Lula and self care. um, because you have to put yourself first. Even though
Always.
no matter how many times you want to put your family and other people's in front of your friends and stuff in front of you, sometimes it's just that you have to step back and say, okay, this is my time, and I'm gonna do what's gonna make me happy, right? No matter.
Yeah, communicating that. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people.
100%.
So a lot of times people get burnt out because they're giving their time, their money, their attention, their everything to other people, and then you become very resentful. No one appreciates this. Like I do this, I do that, and no one appreciates it. They didn't ask for it, you did it.
Yeah.
So like now you have to step back and set boundaries. Like, okay, I know you're used to doing this, but I'm not doing this anymore. So, but our relationship is going to like proceed in this direction. So,
So you mentioned that putting yourself out in social media and stuff. So you I don't know how to say it. But you had your own social media where you show your travel, like the places that you travel and stuff, which I want to get into your traveling and stuff, because it's a big thing. You've seen her IG page, right?
Seen it.
I know.
I love
So
it.
and then you have the coaching where you recently started developing. You want to shout out that name?
What my coaching name? My coaching page. So my coaching is Lula Abera ABLULA ABERA _ So you'll find me my to learn more about my coaching and consulting, and then my personal page. Do I want to get my personal page out there?
I think it's
Follow my coaching page.
yeah, yeah. So your coaching page is developing right now. It's going high. You just opened it recently. It's going like out.
December, yeah, it's growing really fast.
I'm very happy for you. You have the African Woman Journey page where you work. You're another company of yours, and I've seen you editing the website from the scratch.
Yeah.
A lot of things. I know you worked a lot, but you have another page.
No, we're not talking about that.
No, because I want to get to the point where right now how you're doing your interviews and stuff, right? Because you had
Uh-huh.
you I think you not setback, but you had to rethink if you want to like show up in that interview. Remember that interview I'm talking about?
The interview that I did, right, about healing, yeah, the one I posted recently, yeah. So I started oh gosh, I guess I have 4 pages. So I have my personal page, I have my 2 business pages, the coaching page, and then the African Women Journey. And then 4 years ago, I started a page just because one of my hobbies is watching reality TV shows. So I started a page called Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's a reality TV show that airs on the Oprah channel. And I just started the page to have a conversation around the show because none of my friends were watching it the same at that time. And then over the years, over the last 3.5 years, it grew to 97,000 followers. And for until I think until February, no one really knew who was running the page. I was just like posting stuff on it. But I was given an opportunity to be on TV to talk about the show. So after I showed my face, I was like, oh, might as well just kind of get engaged on the page. So by showing my face, I started building relationship with the cast of the show, and I've been doing interviews with them. So
How do you manage all this? I'm having a
You know,
hard time managing my
and,
Instagram.
and
Just that.
you know that she have a full-time job. I'm not.
yeah, I work
Of this.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, I work full time.
How do you do it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's insane, right? Well, a lot of it was during COVID, so I was home.
Mm,
Yeah, so, like, honestly, it was like an escape. So I was like, "Oh, I'll do schoolwork, I'll do work, and then if I want, like, to escape, I'll watch the TV show, and then, like, I'll post it on my, like, reality TV show page." So it was like a mindless thing that turned out to be an opportunity.
So now I can't complain.
I know.
Yeah, yes, you can. You can complain because I was complaining. You
No,
can complain.
so that's really great. It's a good example for a lot of people, for a lot of our listeners. Sometimes you can multitask, and sometimes you can do a lot
Yeah.
if that's something that you're motivated about, and if that's something that you want to do. You can't just complain, oh, I have school, I have this. Okay, you have school.
You can always make time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can spare
You
time.
just have to prioritize, and when you prioritize things, you also have to give up other things because you can't really have it all.
Yeah.
So you have to pick and choose which one do I want, do which one needs my time right now, and then like what do I need to focus on.